Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? Hoo boy. Hoo boy. Dennis Allen was not in the mood after practice today. Can't say that to blame him, because rookie first-round draft pick left tackle Taliese Fuaga departed practice with injury. After practice, DA was asked, why did he leave? What was that injury?
What did Fuaga leave with?
Back.
Literally 1 second. Paulie, you didn't even need to put up the graphic, brother. He was done. Paul put up the Dennis Allen graphic. I'm like, there's no point in doing it, because this is a 1 second soundbite. You literally can't even push the button quickly enough to bring up the picture before that thing's done. So a back injury for Taliese Fuaga. No word on the severity. DA was asked to follow up. Would this keep Fuaga out of the game on Saturday? Here's what I keep saying Saturday. On Sunday, they play Sunday night. On Sunday, here's what he said.
I have no idea. I mean, all I know is they took him in probably during the individual period. He had some back tightness. Looked to me like, prior to even starting practice, looked to me like he was kind of stretching his back out maybe a little bit. So I don't know if that was bothering him beforehand. So I would say this. I would say if he is a healthy body and capable of playing, then he'll play in the game. And if he's not, then he won't. But I really have no idea right now. I mean, the only thing I know is he had some back tightness.
Okay. I'm not going to overreact to this. There are certain injuries, which will not be named, that if you hear those dreaded buzzwords and buzz terms, then you get really worried. Yes, whenever you start talking about a large man and you hear words like back and neck, it is more concerning, but hopefully it's nothing more than just, man, you're into day 17 of camp, and there's going to be football stuff, and hopefully that's all this is, because if we are being very clear, this is something we all know. The New Orleans Saints went into this training camp, and everybody knew the single biggest question on this team, the single biggest position battle, the single biggest issue, whatever, however you want to phrase it, was that offensive line. Because you're replacing 3 starters, you're trying to salvage something out of Trevor Penning in a new spot on the right side. You've got a rookie in Taliese Fuaga who you hope you hit on and is going to be your left tackle. At left guard, you were hoping Nick Saldiveri, who, remember, you traded up last year to the first pick of day 3 to take Saldiveri. You were hoping it was going to be him. He didn't impress, but also is injured, and Lucas Patrick's there now. So basically, you went into camp with 3 jobs open on that offensive line. There were 2 certainties. Eric McCoy at center, Cesar Ruiz at right guard. Those are your 2 certainties going into camp. And today, with 2 days left in California, 1 after today, you got 2 certainties on the offensive line, and it's Eric McCoy and Cesar Ruiz. And that is a very unsettling feeling. Alvin Kamara was absent as well on Thursday, and there was some question as to whether or not this was about the contract or injury related. Here was the back and forth with DA and the reporter.
I think it's worth clarifying, since Alvin had missed time because of a contract issue earlier. His absence is definitely not
Zero related to contract. At least, as far as I know, zero related. I mean, he's got some back tightness. This is something he's dealt with before, so I certainly wouldn't speculate in that way.
I think that's Mike. It sounded like Mike Triplett who asked the question there, but Dennis Allen was pretty adamant, zero related to do with contract, and then he sort of backed off of it and said, well, I don't know. But if it's not, I'd almost rather it be a contract than an injury at this point. The Saints, they'll practice on Friday out in Irvine. They'll head up on Saturday to the Bay Area. They'll play the Niners on Sunday, and then they'll come home and finish training camp in New Orleans and get ready to play Carolina week 1. And if you remember from the start of camp through the first couple of weeks, certainly through the first full week, the storyline was every day there was another significant player who went down with an injury. This certainly is a team that doesn't feel like it can afford injuries anywhere. As a matter of fact, Dennis Allen, even though we just talked about two offensive guys with Fuaga and Alvin Kamara, DA was asked about evaluating the first team defense because of all the injuries. When you've seen Pete Werner and DeMario Davis and Marshawn Lattimore, you've seen all these defensive players at different times. Brian Brzee had the foot early in camp. All these defensive players have gone down with injuries. And DA was asked about evaluating this defense given all those injuries.
I like what I'm seeing from the guys that are out there. And in particular, I like some of the things I'm seeing out of our defensive line. I think we got a big physical group up front, and more so than that, like they have the right demeanor and they play the right way. They play a tough, aggressive style of defense, a physical style of defense, and that's what wins in our league. And I think the defense starts with the front and their ability to control the line of scrimmage. Like I thought there were some things in terms of the pass rush in that 2 minute that was really good. I'm in a good spot with what I think our defense can be.
I don't disagree with him on defense. I think we all generally agree Dennis Allen's a really good defensive coordinator and he's going to make the defense go good enough. The offense is obviously the big question, and the more injuries you have, the more concerning it gets. And I try to be mindful of this. It may not seem that way, but I really do. I try to be mindful of the fact that nobody wants to come listen to this show or talk about their favorite team and just be beaten over the head every day with how bad it is and why they're going to stink. I am mindful of that. Like, it's not fun to sit here every day and talk about if Derek Carr is going to be back next year, win totals, firing the coach odds, which new fire the coach odds came out today, and Dennis Allen had the third highest odds of being the first coach fired. Like, that's not fun, and I get it. But I'm also not just going to paint a rosy picture for the sake of painting a rosy picture, because I don't believe that. I mean, Kat Terrell today, ESPN, all the NFL Nation reporters did a ceiling and floor piece. So for all 32 teams, here's the ceiling, here's the floor for their respective teams. And Kat listed the Saints ceiling at 10-7 and the floor at 5-12. Ten and 7 might be right as far as the ceiling. Like at best case, everything goes your way. I'm not so sure that 5-12 is the floor, y'all. I think there's a real chance it could be worse than that. Especially if these injuries continue to persist. As we have updates, we'll share them with you. But Taliese Fuaga left practice with what Dennis Allen described as a back. He didn't even say a back. He just said back. So Fuaga doesn't even have a back. He doesn't have a back. He just got back.
He's backless.
Back. Fuaga got back. Baby got back. Maybe he's talking about his T. Heine instead of his actual.
Could be.
Maybe so. So that's what Sir Mix-a-Lot said back in the day.
DA, big Sir Mix-a-Lot guy.
But he doesn't know what a metaphor is.
Yeah.
I didn't even touch that here.
No.
You know how good I'm being, Muse?
Yeah.
Not touching that at all?
I didn't cut it either. I almost did, but I was like, you know what?
I could have.
Yeah.
As big as I am with grammar and everything.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even really think about that. I just thought about how we always kind of, drag DA. But, yeah.
Have I ever said anything untrue that was...
No. I mean, I didn't say it wasn't warranted.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.